Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Fiso Wuhle, but you can call me Fee. And yeah, welcome to Safe to Be with Fee. So, on today's video, I want to talk about what 6 years of journaling has taught me. And my goal for this video is to leave you with some gems that you could apply to your life. As you can see, we're outside in the garden, and we're not gardening, but we're in the garden. And I have notes on what I want to talk about. This is my second take, actually. The first take, I didn't really have notes. I ran out of space and it was scattered. So I got the notes for the structure and for me to talk about everything that I want to talk about today. So I've been journaling for 6 years now, and these are my journals that I've kept thus far. This is actually not half of what I have or had, because I burnt my other batch. I had like 5. So if I had all of them with me right now, I would have 10 or more than that. Yeah, I think the ones that I had combined with these ones are from 2023. So that's 2022, 2023. But from 2020, I don't know what those journals are. I think I burnt them as well. No, actually, because in 2020, I was just starting. I was getting into it. So yeah. Let me tell you my story. So I started journaling in 2020, and I started journaling because I was going through it. Like mentally, I was really in the pits. I was in the Pittsburgh of mental health, and I didn't decide to journal, but I needed an outlet. And I was advised by one of my really close friends that I should really look into journaling. And the reason why I wanted to talk about this today is because of the fact that we are entering the depressive season, winter. And what is it called? Seasonal sad syndrome. I don't know. I'll put the abbreviation somewhere here and what it means somewhere here. But yeah, it's like seasonal depression, but then it usually happens in winter. Some people experience it in summer or whichever season it is. Some people you're really going through it. But in winter, it gets really, 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 really bad. So let me tell you my story. So I started journaling in 2020 because I was going through a tough time. My mental health actually started declining in 2018. I was just 16 at that time, and I was in high school. I don't miss high school at all. But yeah, I started journaling in 2020 because a lot had happened in high school and a lot was happening in 2020. I mean, we all know what happened in 2020. A lot was happening. And just being indoors also for a long period of time wasn't helping. I think a lot of people's mental health declined in 2020 because of the circumstances, and everything that was happening. A lot happened. People lost jobs, lost loved ones, and just being at home makes you lose your mind. But it also it forces us to face ourselves. So I was forced to face myself. And one of my friends advised me, my closest friends, she advised me that I should actually look into journaling. Now, I've always had diaries before. I've had diaries, but they were used for other stuff. They weren't used for the sole purpose of journaling and getting my feelings out there and writing about what it is that I was going through. It was more so for things like church, or if I wanted to take note of something in a class and I didn't have the book for said subject or whatever. Yeah, and then so she's like, dude, you need to journal. Another thing that I think is good about journaling is the fact that when you start journaling, it doesn't feel like now you're going to overload on your friend. Okay, cool, you have friends to talk to. I also had friends to talk to, and I really do appreciate them being there for me. I think that it is good to speak to someone, but you also need an outlet for yourself, because as much as you can speak to someone about something and always have them as your shoulder to cry on, sometimes it gets heavy on them too. Because people can listen to us talk and then they offer us advice, but there's only so much that someone else can do. And sometimes you also have to take the step, to get better, for the lack of a better word or something else to say, because I was there too. And I'm not saying that, oh, now I have the answers, because I'm still there. I'm still navigating, still learning, and still growing. And I'm just here to share, you know. Yeah, I started journaling. I got my first journal from Typo. All of these journals are actually from Typo. I'm shouting, this is a shout out to Typo. I love Typo journals. They have unique designs. There's the leather cover, the beautiful pages. It's amazing. You should get a journal from Typo. I love Typo journals. I love, love, love Typo journals. But yeah, I started journaling then because I needed an outlet for my feelings and my emotions and everything that I was thinking. But I was not consistent because I didn't really take journaling seriously. So I'm sure that there are people out there, or you that's watching this video, you have a journal, but you haven't been consistent. And now my chat is, try to be consistent. See your journal as a friend, because when I started journaling, like, I didn't even know where to start. I thought that it was going to be like a whole Dear Diary situation, like when you watch something on TV and then you see someone in the movies, like the girlies especially, like, Dear Diary, today I kissed Chris. It was never like, for me it was like that. Like, I didn't know how to start. There wasn't anything that I could write about, you know although in my other journals, like the previous years that I had, maybe I did write like once or twice that I did this or I did that, or I saw this and I saw that, you know what I mean? Yeah, but it was never that deep. I didn't quite know what was going on with me. So yeah, I started writing about what I felt. And the more I did this, I realized that I was actually digging deeper into my brain, getting to know myself, and it didn't fix me right away. My mental health worsened over the years. Like 2020 was my 2022. 2020 was like the beginning of me facing myself. And then 2022 was the worst year because I was very suicidal at the time, and I don't know, I was just like really hopeless, and I didn't see a way forward with my life. Yes, I'm pulling the weave because it's going back. Yeah, I didn't see a way forward for myself in my life. I just felt really hopeless and lost, and I wanted to know what was wrong with me. I started studying. I did social sciences, and one of my modules was psychology, and I thought that this was actually pretty good for me because at least it's going to give me insight on what it is that I was going through and what was going on with me, because I really wanted to figure out what the problem was. Yeah. And over the years, I've noticed that my journaling has evolved, which is why I decided to burn some of my journals, because the internal dialogue, like, during the previous years is different from what it is now. Like, I realized that the way I write about myself, the way I write about my experiences has really changed. So for me, yeah, I could have gone to therapy, but therapy was not always something that I had access to because of finances. Like, things happen, life happens, and I needed an outlet, and this was my outlet. This was my step one to my healing journey. I had to become aware of the things that I was going through. And I think, honestly, before journaling, one of the bravest things that you could do for yourself, and the best things that you could do for yourself, is to just admit that something is not right. Not that you're broken or there's something wrong with you, but you're not okay. To admit that you're not okay is the first step. And then maybe this is like the first step then. Like, this is like admitting or coming to terms with the fact that you're not okay and accepting the fact that it's okay that you're not okay is like the first step. And then this is like step 1.2. So yeah, that's my second point. I'm actually going to use my notes now. Yeah, so basically my story is that I was journaling because my mental health was really bad, and I took my journals everywhere with me. Not journals, but like just my journal that I was using. I took it everywhere with me. And I was once told by someone that, having a journal isn't a conducive way of getting your emotions out, because anyone could just find it and they could read it. And I don't care. That's on you. That is honestly on you. Why are you going through my stuff? Why do you want to take it upon yourself to open my personal stuff and to read? Like, get a life. Hey, get a life, Drew. Hey, why are you reading my stuff? Point three. So, what have I learned from journaling? Because this is the premise of the video. I just wanted to give you a story. You know, my story is, I don't know, it sounds kind of anticlimactic, but I mean, what did you expect? Mental health, it's bad. Like, it got so bad. Maybe you'd want to know about how bad it was. It was very bad. Like, very, 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 very bad. Like, my first attempt was in 2018. Yeah. Uh, my second attempt was in 2020. My last was in 2022. And I used to watch Euphoria at the time. And today when I look back and I'm like, damn, I could actually relate to Rue. I wasn't doing drugs, but there is this scene where she explains how it's so difficult for her to get out of the bathroom, to get out of her room, sorry, to get out of her room and go to the bathroom. Cause like it's debilitating, man. You can't do your bed, you can't brush your teeth. For some people they can't even eat, but I was like a stress eater, so I was just eating. But like you can't do the basic stuff to take care of yourself because that's how bad it is. And another thing is I used to dye my hair a lot and I was losing my hair. And I think dyeing my hair was like a coping mechanism for myself. Like I used that to cope with a lot of the stuff that I was going through. What else? Eating was a way that I used to cope with my depression. Eating a lot. I never brushed my teeth. I never used to bath. Like I would forget these things. Like the simple, it's bad when you forget to do the simple things for yourself. Dyeing my hair. And I was like in really messed up relationships, romantic relationships. Yeah, my choice in partners in the previous years. Yeah. But yeah, what else? Maybe there are other things that I used to do, but I'm not aware of those stuff. And maybe I just need to do a bit more shadow work so that I can find. But yeah, other than that, I was really going through it. Like, I was really going through it. Oh, and my phone was my best friend. I think my phone addiction started in 2020 because I was never really addicted to my phone because I never really had a phone. In 2020, 2019, 2019. In 2019, I had a tablet, because that's what I could use. I was in boarding school. Maybe one day I'll do a story time about that school. Who knows? But yeah, I was in boarding school, so I had a tablet. We couldn't use our phones because if they caught you with the phone, then your phone is gone, right? And you're never going to see it again. Maybe like end of term, I don't know, because my phone was never confiscated. I never had a phone. But I got a phone in 2020. Yeah. And yeah, it was just me and my phone against the world. I used to doom scroll, not on TikTok. I used to have Musical.ly. I don't even know when TikTok turned into TikTok because TikTok was Musical.ly. But anyways, yeah, doom scroll from like, let's say 9 p.m. because everyone is sleeping at that time. From 9 p.m. to like 6 a.m. Then I sleep at 6 a.m., wake up at 9 a.m. because I have to do my chores. So like my mental health was just like really, really bad. And I was like self-neglect. Yeah. So yeah, that's my story. I think that's enough. Like I think I've given you enough. Let's get to the juice, which is like what I have learned from 6 years of journaling. So what I've learned from like 6 years of journaling, I'm actually gonna like glance down and read because I wrote like points. Um and this is in no chronological order. Like I don't have an order for all of these things. I just wrote randomly from the heart, because this is also like a personal journey. So yeah, my one of the first things or the first points that I wrote down was where my pain comes from and how it has molded me into the person I am today. Yeah. So most of my depression and how I've maneuvered my way around this world thus far comes from my trauma and the stuff that I've been through, because things like that actually mold you into the person that you are today. Even if your parents or your caretakers at the time or whoever can tell you can't remember that, you were just a child. That's a lie. That's a lie. I may not remember consciously, but subconsciously I do, and my body remembers as well. So who I am subconsciously is who I am consciously. That's it. Like, even there's this lady who interprets dreams, and she was like on Khloe Kardashian's episodes of her podcast. I never watched the podcast, but I did see the reel on Instagram, and she said that your subconscious mind will tell you who you are. It's not going to lie to you. It's going to show you who you are, and that's that. And that's true, because it knows, and the subconscious mind is always listening. It's always taking in information, it's always taking in information. And so journaling really shed light on where this pain comes from through shadow work. Shadow work is very good because it forces you to be brutally honest with yourself and to get vulnerable with yourself, and it forces you to face whatever it is that has been deeply embedded in your mind that your mind has just shut out, because there are experiences that are very traumatic that our brains just choose to forget as a way to protect us, but it also influences our behavior, like our triggers, what triggers us, what we gravitate towards, and our personal decisions and so forth and so forth. Like the people that we attract into our lives, especially romantic partners. If all you know is chaos, from a young age, subconsciously, that is what you're going to choose. That's what you're going to be attracted to. You're going to see the toxicity as something that is good, because you do not know what health is. And I've been there too. Like, most of my past romantic partners are proof of the fact that I thought that chaos was good. And my current relationship is showing me that peace is good. And my nervous system is screaming like, what is this? It's very peaceful. It's very peaceful. Like, it's very peaceful. And I love it there. Yeah. So shadow work really sheds a lot on what you've been through, who you've been, and you really need to face those experiences and be conscious of how they have shaped you or molded you into becoming the person that you are today. Yeah, well, but it's not something that you rush. Like, you don't rush this. It needs you to, like, for me, I had to do it over and over and over and over and over and over again till like I hit the nail on the coffin. Like, and I've cried before writing down certain things. I think when you cry, that's when you're hitting the real stuff. Like, if you had to tell someone about or recount an experience to someone and you start crying, that's like when you know that, okay, yeah, this has really hit. You know what I mean? Like, it has hit for real, for real, for real. This is the real stuff. This is the juicy stuff. Because a therapist can ask you, okay, so how do you feel about this? And then you answer them. Né? Until you start crying or they see you glance away, and stare into the distance, that's when they know that, yeah, she's about to tell me something real. He's about to tell me something real, But I digress. Yeah. So journaling has really shed light on the things that I've been through, and it really forced me to pay attention to what I've been through, because honestly, when you're on a healing journey, there is no way you can heal by just ignoring it. These things, that these internal wounds, these things that we've been through, this trauma is like an open wound, and you can't go the rest of your life with an open wound. You're going to infect people who didn't hurt you. You're going to bleed on people who did not cut you or stab you. And that wound really needs you to tend to it. And when you do tend to it, it will hurt because it's open. And you need to get that dirt out. You need to get the pus out. You need to get that stuff out before you can actually move forward. And once you've healed, you never truly heal completely. You're constantly healing. But when you look at that wound, or when you look at that scar, because now when it's healed, it's a scar, you're going to look at it and be like, damn, I've been through some stuff. You'll never forget. And that's just how it is. But at least you're not bleeding on anyone anymore. And you're not hurting yourself, because imagine walking around with an open wound and it just gets infected. When something gets infected, then there's inflammation. If there's inflammation, then pain, And how do you go about your life with that pain? How do you move or maneuver through life with all that pain, all that baggage? You need to let it go at some point. And shadow work is just like one of the tools that you can use to let go because now you're facing it. You know what I mean? Like, you cannot run away from yourself. Point number 2. Self-awareness. I gained a lot of self-awareness, and this coincides with the whole shadow work thing, because shadow work really allows you to dive deeper into your subconscious mind and to acquaint yourself well enough with your shadows, the parts of yourself that you hide away from this world. And when you are aware of your shadows and you know who you are, no one can tell you who you are, because you know who you are. Now, I'm not saying that just because now I've gained some self-awareness, I am this good person who doesn't have flaws, who hasn't hurt people. I have hurt people. I've hurt people before. I've been hurt by people before. I have my flaws and I'm aware of them now. And this has really helped me, because now that I know about these flaws that I have and how I've hurt people and how they've hurt me, I can notice patterns, and I know who to cut out of my life. I know what I need to fix. I know what I need to work on. And I can really reflect on my strengths and my weaknesses, because I have them. I'm a human being. I'm not perfect, I'm able to become better because I know myself. And the only way that you can, become something different and change is if you accept yourself. But you cannot accept yourself if you do not know yourself. So you need to know yourself first. And yeah, self-awareness is really good, because you are able to go within and you meet yourself on a deep level, which also allows you to meet people within the same depth. You know what I mean? Yeah. Second point, self-acceptance, which is what I just spoke about right now a little bit. Yeah, I've learned to accept myself. It's really difficult, especially for the mere fact that I thought that I wasn't shit, that I didn't mean anything, that my existence was like futile. And that I don't think it was because of the fact that I had this mentality for my whole life and I thought that I was rubbish. I think it's because of the people that I've been with, my experiences, and how I've been treated. Yeah, like, hurt people. And people will only ever give you what they know best. What I mean by that is, like, how you were raised is how your parents knew how to raise you. And like, most of the stuff that happened to us isn't, our fault. It's not your fault that happened to you. And I'm really sorry. But it is your responsibility to get up and to work on yourself and to heal yourself so that you can give yourself better. You know that you deserve better, but you need to accept that that should happen. I mean, it's in the past. Yes, I'm not saying you must forgive. The person that you should forgive is yourself. But yeah, self-acceptance is really good, especially for the things that you allowed. Once you embark on this journey of healing, you're going to notice that a lot of people have fucked with you and they've really hurt you. Like, please forgive my French, but so that's the truth, A lot of people have messed with you and they've crossed boundaries. Like, when you begin to heal, you begin to value yourself. And then you realize that I didn't deserve that. You sit there and you're like, ay, Mara, you look back at your journal entries. Like, I do that sometimes. I look back at my journal entries. I read my journal and I'm like, I really didn't deserve that. I really didn't deserve that. But it happened. And this is who I was. And these are the decisions that I made. And these were the things that I did. And this is where I'm at right now. And I accept. Because if I don't accept what is right now, and if I'm not like brutally honest with myself, if I don't have radical acceptance within myself, then there's no way I can change. You must first accept. And that's like, it's really difficult, especially when we're grieving our past and when we're grieving where we are now, because we're constantly grieving. Healing is grieving. You go through the different stages of grief, and that's fine. And then you get to the point where you just accept. And when you accept yourself, you really stop caring what people think about you. Yeah. So I'm not saying that I fully accepted myself. I'm on the journey, man. I'm on the journey. And yeah, so far, I love myself. I love myself. I think it's also because, like, now that I have such amazing connections, and I do have amazing friends. Like, I've had these friends since high school. So I'm really grateful for them being in my life. Like, Yeah, I thank them for being in my life. Yeah, forgiveness. I did touch on forgiveness. Forgiveness, most importantly for yourself, because I feel like everyone tells you, you need to forgive, you need to forgive them, you need to forgive them because the only person that you're imprisoning is yourself. As much as that is true, because when you have not forgiven someone for something that they did to you, you harbor hate for them. And there is this quote that I read when I was I was young, I was a teenager. And it basically said, like, if you love me, I will always be in your heart. But if you hate me, I will always be on your mind. And that's true. Like, I don't have the energy to hate anyone. I don't. At this point, I'm just forgiving you for myself, not for you. I'm not going to forget what you did, but I'm doing the whole forgiveness thing for myself because I don't have the time to keep you in here. That's too much energy that I am omitting, that I'm giving to you. Like, that's too much energy, and you don't deserve my energy. You don't deserve my chi. You don't deserve my life force energy. You must starve. You must starve, you know? But most importantly, forgiveness for the self, for thyself. You need to really forgive yourself. Like, journaling has taught me to forgive myself. There is a lot that I've written about. And this is why, like, this is the journal that I'm currently on. This is actually from last year. I didn't really have time to finish it because a lot was happening. That's a story for another day, né? Yeah. A lot was happening. And these ones are actually from 2020. 2020. Okay, one is from 2025. No. Yes. I don't know. But 2023, yeah, late 2023. No, late 2024 and 2025 and a bit of 2023 somewhere here. Yeah, these ones. And then there were other ones as well. Like I had two from 2023. Yeah. So I wrote a lot about the things that I experienced, the people that sun kissed, a golden hour for a chocolate girl. I wrote a lot about the experiences that I had, how I felt. And because I think also because I think a lot, that's why I can fill up my journals. Like, I know that I've had a great journaling session if my journal is like, my journal entry is like, what, 4 pages, 5 pages? I know that I like this lighting. So yeah, so many of these like life experiences that I've recounted on my journal have really showed me that I'm a people pleaser. I've had like tendencies of people pleasing, and I really need to talk about that because I have a story about that. But yeah, these people pleasing tendencies, they're not healthy. They need to stop, and some like I said before, I'm not forgiving someone because I'm doing it for them. I'm doing it for me. This is for me. And this doesn't mean that now you can just waltz back into my life like, since you forgave me, what do you say we give it another go? No, this forgiveness thing is for me. I'm doing it for me. And so, yes, I forgave the people that really hurt me sharp. But most importantly, me. Forgive myself for allowing that to happen to me. I forgive myself for thinking that, no, this was normal. I forgive myself for not choosing myself sooner. You know what I mean? Like, forgiveness, man. I think, yeah, forgiving yourself. Because now you know that you're not going to let that happen again. I hope that you know and you're taking note of the fact that you're not going to let that happen again. Right? I keep looking at myself because the slides. Oh my gosh, the slides.
The light.
So yeah, forgiveness for the self is very important. Like, before you forgive anyone, please just forgive yourself. And when you decide to forgive someone, forgive them for yourself. For yourself. Right? Because it's too much energy to be omitting, man. This hatred thing, they don't deserve to be here. They don't deserve it. They don't even deserve your energy. So yeah, another thing that I learned was to value myself and be true to myself through introspection. I think this just coincides or ties back to the whole self-awareness thing and the shadow work. Yeah. I introspect a lot, especially if I do something to someone else. Like, I'm not saying that, oh, yeah, I'm on this high horse and everyone's doing stuff to me. I've hurt people as well, you know? So, yeah, I journal about it so that I get my thoughts in order. Because what happens is when I hurt someone, yeah, I feel bad. Like, I think it's also like a part of me, like for people who deserve it. Like, even if it's someone who deserves it, like my rudeness. Like, I look back and I'm like, damn, maybe I was like really harsh. Maybe I hurt their feelings. Like, maybe I just wasn't supposed to say that. This sheds a lot of light. This journaling about it sheds a lot of light on the fact that, maybe they deserved it, maybe they didn't. But like, if they didn't, then I know, like, I really sit down and I have a conversation with myself and I introspect and I find like, where did I go wrong? Why did I do that? Why did I snap like that? Why did I say that? Why am I feeling this way? Why is the golden question? You know what I mean? Really helps with introspection, bro. Like, that's how you build your self-awareness. That's how you build your self-awareness, and you're mindful of the things that you say, the things that you do, without criticizing yourself, however, because I do feel like when you are aware of these things and when you're mindful of these things, you do become a self-critic, and then you're not really present anymore in like the interactions that you have with people. Like, when you interact with someone, when you interact with them, it's kind of difficult for you to be present because a part of you is like observing the conversation and you're like, oh, I hope, was I being too much when I said this? Oh, I hope I don't say anything wrong. Like, and then you don't really hear what the person is saying because now you're analyzing too much, you're observing way too much, and it's like, just be yourself. You know what I mean? Okay, so the last point, to be a better person. And this is not only for the people around me. Again, this is also for myself. I did not want to be here. I did not see myself worthy of love. I didn't see myself worthy of anything good, honestly. I didn't see myself as enough. Like, I hated myself and my existence, which is horrible to even say about yourself, but it's the truth. This is how I felt about myself. This is, I don't want to be here anymore. Like, I just felt like the world would be better if I was not in it. And that's not true. You make the world a better place. I make the world a better place. You make it a better place. Regardless of who you've hurt, what you've done, I get that, and I hope that you apologized if you've hurt someone, and if you haven't, if you have the chance to apologize, do it. But then again, also, like, forgive yourself. I know. Yabo manji. Because some people do some really messed up stuff. But I'm just saying, like, it really has helped me to be a better person. And why I'm saying that is because when I started journaling, I became aware, and because of that, like, I began to open up. I was to be a better person. I wanted to have better experiences in my life. I wanted to be a better person. I realized over the years, especially when in 2022, during my last attempt, I realized that I didn't actually want to, end myself. I wanted to end the pain that I had in my heart. I wanted to get it out of me, and I just wanted to stop feeling this way because I don't like it. It reminds me of this. I don't know if it's a proverb or if it's a quote or something, but I saw it again, like when I was scrolling like years back, like 2022. Yeah. And this man was like, if you, if you feel like you want to, if you feel like you want to kill yourself, go and jump into the ocean, and watch how you're going to be fighting to survive. It's not, and he said, like, that is like the natural human instinct. because your body wants you to live, it wants you to survive. So you're gonna start panicking, gasping for air, you're gonna try to swim up, and it's like sometimes it's not because you want to like end yourself, but it's because you want to kill the pain that is inside you. And that is exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted the pain to stop. I didn't want to live like this anymore, because my family didn't even recognize me anymore. Like my siblings, I don't think they saw their sister. I don't even think they knew who I was, because I was a hermit. I was secluded. I was just like in my little box, and honestly, that was bad. That was really, 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 really bad. And they didn't deserve that version of me. But also, I wanted to become a better person. I was closed off. I didn't think that anyone cared at the time, because I was just alone and I wanted to be alone. Yeah. And I feel like when I decided to do this for myself, like, it made me a better person for myself and to myself. And therefore, I was also able to be a better person for the people that love me. I was more vocal. I was more present with my family. Like, I wouldn't like stay in my room and hide away from them. I was actually interacting with my family members, whenever I spoke to my friends, there was more room now for us to just talk about like stuff, and for them to experience me, because I'm a very bubbly person. Like, I am very colorful, I am very fun, so I'd like to believe, um yeah, like, journaling will really make you a better person, but first, not for anyone else, but for yourself, for yourself first before anyone else, you know because honestly, how can you pour into others if you cannot even pour into yourself? Your glass is empty, so before you can pour into others, you need to be able to pour into yourself. Your glass should be full first. It brings us back to the oxygen mask theory, where on a plane you're instructed that, should anything happen, guys, and the oxygen masks descend, you must put it on your first. You must put it on yourself first before you try to help someone else. You first, then someone else. You cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot help someone if your cup is empty. You guys, what's going to happen? You know what I mean? So yeah. So that taught me to pour into myself. And therefore I can pour into other people genuinely. Not because now that's a topic for another day. There's a lot that we have to talk about. Yeah, welcome. Welcome, 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 welcome. But yeah, those are the things that I've learned thus far. I don't think I've learned everything, like, I'm not yet done. Yeah, I'm not yet done. Like, my grandmother always used to say, you can't say I'm done, because that just means that your journey on this realm or this life is over. Like, you're done. Say you're finished. Like, okay, I'm finished with this. I don't think that I'm done. Yes, I'm not done. I still have so many years, to go, and so many years of experiences, like wonderful experiences. And I'm looking forward to that, honestly. I'm anticipating great stuff, and you should too, for yourself, And I'm so happy and grateful that you made it this far into the video. That means that you really want to get into this journaling thing. Yeah. And when you finally decide to get into it, please don't expect yourself to have it all figured out in a day or in a week. It's a journey. It's a journey with self. Honestly, I see journaling as a way to come back to yourself, to come back home to yourself. It's like getting to know yourself again and falling in love with yourself the same way you would fall in love with someone that you're deeply interested in. You know what I mean? You learn to approach yourself with the same amount of compassion, gentleness, and kindness, and you become your own best friend. And once you know yourself, no one can really tell you about you. Even if they want to judge you, even if they say some offensive stuff. Like, I was thinking about this yesterday, that, you know what, Ne, when you're offended by something someone says, there's actually two sides to it. There's two sides to it. Yes, you can be offended because you're being disrespectful, excuse me. But also, you can take offense because a part of you believes that to be true. Because honestly, not everything needs a reaction. Like, not everything needs a reaction. Sometimes someone can say something or they do something and you're like, sharp, for your own peace, honestly, for your own peace of mind. Because if like reactions are just, they're mentally taxing. They take up a lot of energy. Like, I don't have the time to react to you, babes. No, I don't have the time to fight you. I don't have the time to hate you. I don't. I'm sorry. I don't have the time. I'm sorry to disappoint you, but I don't have that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Journaling is a personal journey with yourself, and I'm going to do it for the rest of my life. Confirmation. I'm going to do it for the rest of my life. And I hope that you're going to do it for the rest of your life too. It's a way of getting to know yourself. And I think when you're starting your healing journey or when you want better for yourself, that is where you start. That is where you begin. Yes, therapy too, but I'm sure your therapist is going to tell you, dude, you need to get a journal. Get a journal. Yeah, get a journal. I love you so much. Thank you for sitting for, I'm going to edit though. Thank you so much for sitting for an X amount of time with me. And listening to me yap about, how journaling has really improved my life and has helped me, and I genuinely hope that you've taken some gems from this, and that you also, apply this to your life. Get a journal first and just get to know yourself. I think I will do I will make a video about shadow work. Just let me know in the comments down below if that's something that you want. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you in the next one. Bye.